Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where we're here to bring you live uninterrupted commentary of this Betfred Championship Round 24 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Sheffield Eagles. One of the most important clashes of the season, arguably, for James Ford and his men, with Sheffield, Featherstone and York all locked on the same competition points, all battling it out for the last two playoff spaces with just 3 games of the regular season remaining. Featherstone coming to the game off the back of what was a disappointing defeat on the road at Swinton last week, which brought an end to their 5-game winning run. Be looking to bounce back and get back to winning ways this afternoon and cement themselves a place in that championship top 6. So Sheffield, they're coming to the game on a real slide. They've lost their last 5 matches, and there's currently some internal turmoil with the club. Of course, with all of the well-publicised issues with current suspended coach Mark Aston, we believe. Keith Senior is in command of the team this afternoon, but we're just a few minutes away from kick-off here in Featherstone, and the team news is in. We'll start with Featherstone, who make 3 changes to the side that lost out to Swinton last week, with Maddox Jeffrey, Connor Barley and Brad Day all dropping out. Brad Day with a minor injury. But James Ford able to recall 3 very key players for his side in the form of Gareth Gale, Connor Wynne and Ben Reynolds, who all missed out last week. Connor Wynne, of course, returning from suspension. So Featherstone line up like this. Greg Eden is the fullback, a 3-quarter line of Gareth Gale, Josh Hardcastle, Greg Miniken and Connor Wynne. Ben Reynolds partners Deck Patton in the halves. Up front for Rovers, James Lockwood, Connor Jones, Ben Nakabarwai, who plays his 100th game in the UK this afternoon, with Jimmy Beckett, Jack Bussey and Danny Addy rounding off the starting side. On the bench for Featherstone, Gadwin Springer, Harry Bowes, Wellington Albert and Jack Arnold. Sammy Kabula is the 18th man, and it would be remiss of me not to mention that it's also Gareth Gale's 100th appearance for Featherstone Rovers. We wish him well on that milestone game this afternoon. Sheffield, they make 3 changes of their own, with Ryan Miller, Alex Foster and Jesse Senilifeo all dropping out of the matchday 17. But into the side come Jack Hansen, Connor Bauer and Joel Farrell. So 2 experienced back rowers in the starting side. Sheffield line up like this. Matty Marsh is the fullback, a 3-quarter line of Ben Jones-Bishop, Chris Wellham, James Glover and Matty Dawson-Jones. Corey Aston partners Jack Hansen in the halves. Up front for the Eagles, Eddie Batty, Villa Halafihi, Tyler Dickinson with Connor Bauer, Joel Farrell and Titus Quaze rounding off the starting side. On the bench for the visitors, Blake Broadbent, Mitch Clark, Kyle Wood and Ollie Roberts. And as I said, extremely tight on the championship table. Nothing to choose, just points difference separating 3 sides for 2 remaining places in the championship. There's still playoff places. The fate very much in Featherstone's hands if they can get a win this afternoon and inflict a 6th straight defeat on the Eagles, who are really on the slide. As I mentioned, since a very good start to the season, they enjoyed a very successful opening half of the regular season, which included a narrow 18 points to 16 win over Featherstone. A try at the death, earning the Eagles the points in Sheffield earlier this season. But Featherstone come into the game largely with decent form, a decent run of results of the history of the last few seasons over Sheffield. They haven't lost to the Eagles on this ground since 2015, and in the corresponding fixture last year, Featherstone came out on top by 28 points to 20. So the history books leaning towards Featherstone. The game's definitely not won on that. It's won on the field, which is an extremely wet and heavy track this afternoon. Summer rugby very much in the rearview mirror, pouring down this afternoon and has been for much of the day. Will certainly impact the way that the 2 teams play. But Featherstone boosted, of course, by the return of 2 big wingers who will be very valuable in their yardage carries this afternoon, especially in this wet weather. And, of course, Ben Reynolds, who has been excellent since coming back to the club midway through the season. Missed last week with a minor injury. He's back this afternoon, partnering Deck Patton in a half-back pairing with plenty of class. We'll ask plenty of questions, but they'll need to play the conditions correctly this afternoon and keep errors to a minimum. The ball will certainly be slippy, and as I mentioned, slippery and heavy underfoot this afternoon. Despite the conditions, decent crowds turned out here at the Millennium Stadium for this clash. And as I say, all to play for. Huge ramifications either way for the sides. And Featherstone need to make sure they come out on the right end of the score sheet this afternoon so they can start looking towards playoff rugby. A loss, and then they really are looking over their shoulder with just 2 games remaining. The stage is set for a tough, uncompromising game. We're just waiting for the 2 sides to come out onto the field. The referee this afternoon for this clash is Cameron Worsley. And we're just a few moments away from kickoff now. You're listening to get all of the action here on FRTV. As we wait, the 2 teams spoke to Brad Day in the lead up to this game. As I said, out with a minor quad issue this afternoon. And he's saying that obviously the club wanting to bounce back from a disappointing performance last week, 28-8 loss to Swinton, very much bucked the trend of their recent performance, has been very good. As I mentioned, a 5-game winning run prior to that one. And I'm not sure many people saw that one coming, especially by the magnitude. They just said they needed to get back to what was working for them with commitment in defence, turning up for each other on and off the ball, which has been a trademark of their rugby over the last 2 months. And they'll certainly need to work hard for each other this afternoon in this, what will be a physical encounter with not much, well, it's conditions that don't lend themselves to enterprising, expansive rugby, but we'll certainly see what happens. The skill level of the players these days. As the 2 sides are coming out onto the field, Sheffield, of course, in their primary and predominantly red strip with a yellow V. Featherstone in their largely white strip with navy. And what a moment this is for Gareth Gale. 100 games for Featherstone Rovers. What an achievement that is. And Ben Nakabawai, despite playing internationally for Fiji and games over in the NRL, of course, before coming to these shores, notches up game 100 on UK soil with across spells with Featherstone, Leigh and Salford Red Devils. So here we are, the 2 teams are ready to go. Featherstone will be attacking from left to right as we see it coming downhill in the first half, which, based off previous home games, or the string of home games, is against what they usually like, the approach they like to take. They're looking for a fast start this afternoon. Sheffield will have first use of the ball. The players are ready, we're ready. The referee blows his whistle and Deck Patton gets the game underway. Takes a couple of bounces down to Hansen, who hands it straight off to Dickinson, who takes the first carry and is immediately put to ground by Nakabawai and Lockwood just shy of the 20. Batty now. Plenty of Super League experience with spells with London Broncos and, of course, Wakefield. Makes just a couple of metres forward, taking in the tackle of Bussey. Farrell back in the side this afternoon, just creeping up high there, and immediately penalised was Connor Jones, so not the start that Featherstone would have wanted. An early penalty, an early yardage piggyback up the right of the field for Sheffield. And Corey Aston wastes no time in finding touch on this near side, and Sheffield will start their set 35 metres away from the Featherstone line inside the opening minute here. So a defensive test for Featherstone early on here as Farrell takes the next carry straight away, and he's scragged and refusing to go to the ground, eventually put on the ground there by Bussey and Patton. 30 metres out now, Sheffield, just the first tackle. Nearly lost that one getting up to play as Guaze slips into the tackle. I imagine we'll see quite a lot of that today, heavy underfoot. Plays it centre field. Halavihi gives it on to Batty. Ball along the deck behind everybody, eventually picked up there by Wellham. All the experience in the world Chris Wellham caused Featherstone no end of problems in that narrow win at Legacy Olympic Park earlier in the season. Hansen, first receiver, gives it on to Dickinson. Dickinson, good low tackle under the ball there from Lockwood. Just chopped down his fellow front rower. 20 metres away from the line, options left and right, they come left. Aston digs into the line, out to Marsh, gives it on early to Glover. Glover trying to go around Hardcastle, but great defence on the inside from Hardcastle, wasn't fooled. That'll be the last one, 10 metres out. The ball spun back infield to Aston. Crabs across field, looking to put it onto the head of one of his wingmen, but only finds Wynn. It was a metre or two too long, that kick, and Wynn is bundled backwards there, but will retrieve possession for Featherstone on their try line. So with 2 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium, still Featherstone 0, Sheffield 0. Featherstone passing that early defensive examination. Here comes Hardcastle now, doing a great job since reverting back to the centre position in the last few weeks. It's flitted between there and the back row largely, of course, this year as Lockwood. What an impact he's made since coming out of retirement 6 or 7 weeks ago. He, with the addition of Jimmy Beckett from Dewsbury, have really helped Add some impetus to the middle for Featherstone, as this man, the ever-dependable Danny Addy, up to the 40, Featherstone side of Haas Way, on the last tackle. So Featherstone getting through their first set without any issues. Patton just under pressure, punches the ball downfield, takes a couple of bounces, cut off by Ben Jones-Bishop. He runs back into the Featherstone line and will go down 35 metres away from the Sheffield try line now on the first tackle. So Sheffield just winning that field position battle in the opening few minutes as Reynolds rides Bauer to the ground but plays it quickly. Wellham shuffles it on to Hansen. Hansen drops off Dickinson. Dickinson looking for some space through the middle. Upended in the tackle of Bussey with help from Addy and Jones. On the halfway line now, the Eagles. Guaze out to Aston. Aston dummied, almost went through the tackle of Patton, helped out on the inside there by Danny Addy. In fact, it was Jack Bussey. Guaze, first receiver, skips into the tackle. Finds his front, but goes down in the tackle there of Nakubawai. 30 metres away from the line, last tackle. What will they do this time? Hansen puts it to the air. This one looking a little bit more of a tester for Wynne, who gets up off the ground, takes it cleanly, and is once again pinned back in that corner. So Sheffield setting their stall out early here, just putting the ball into corners and challenging Featherstone to come away from their try line. 4 minutes gone here in Featherstone. Featherstone 0, Sheffield 0. You're listening live on FRTV. Huge round 24 clash with a massive step forward to securing a playoff place for the winner this afternoon. Lockwood now, bundled backwards in the tackle of Bauer. Plays it 20 out. Nakubawai now, better carry. Just taking defenders with him up to the 30, but that'll be the last one for Featherstone. Struggling to make yards early in this one. Patton under pressure again, punches the ball downfield. That'll take one bounce into the arms of Marsh, who hands it on to Dawson Jones. The Sheffield backline absolutely littered with ex-Super League experience. I believe there's only James Glover in this three-quarter line that hasn't played at Super League level. Ben Jones-Bishop now comes forward, good tackle over the ball there from Patton and Hardcastle. Batty, good contact under the ball there from Jones. You could hear that from up here on the gantry, and he'll play it on halfway. Dickinson, first receiver, gives it out to Hansen. Quick ball onto Bauer. Great grassing tackle there from Ben Reynolds. Quick play of the ball for Wellham. Wellham through the middle of the ruck. Beckett did well to react and is put to the ground there, 20 metres out on the last. Short side player, Hansen dinks it behind the line once again, taken this time by Eden, who beats the first man and submits to the tackle of Ben Jones-Bishop in that far corner. It's a familiar sight for Featherstone, working away off their own 10-metre line. It's a good carry there from Wynne. There's Beckett just in the back play there, just retreating back into the line, looking a little bit ginger from that previous involvement in the tackle, as Eden is bundled backwards by Batty. 3 tackles gone here. Featherstone still inside their own 10. They need a big carry here, and this man will hopefully provide it in the case of Gareth Gale. Good carry of 11-12 metres, and Bussey off the back of a quick play of the ball gets up and over the 30-metre line, and Featherstone have manufactured not a bad set here as Bussey goes down a metre short of the 40. Last tackle. They come on this short side. Patton with a little bit more room to move. It's taken a ricochet off a Sheffield man and into touch. What will the referee rule here? He's going to rule that that wasn't played at. I think it's hard to argue that one. So Sheffield will actually get the benefit here. They'll get the turnover and start their set 40 metres away from the Featherstone line. 7 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. Score still 0-0. But Sheffield certainly asking the questions early. Just applying some pressure through field position and possession on Featherstone. Beckett seems okay to carry on at this point. As Dickinson comes off his right foot, looking for space in the middle, and the door closed on him by Lockwood just in the nick of time. Centre field, Sheffield. Halavihi slips and just submits to the tackle there for minimal gain forward. A couple of players in the Sheffield side slipping over already in this one. Batty, first receiver. Good low tackle there from Lockwood, helped out by Addy, who locks up the ball as well. They come left, 10 metres out. Aston just drops off Farrell, comes off the right foot. Another good low tackle, knocking him off his feet was Addy with help from Jones. That'll be the last one. Got himself tangled up 5 metres away from the line. The ball comes back centre field to Hansen. Hansen dinks the ball into the in-goal area. It comes off a Featherstone foot, and Minikin needs to get out of the in-goal area, and he won't do so. The kick chase was good from Sheffield, who just apply the blowtorch a little bit more. It's been all Sheffield in terms of field position in the opening 8 minutes of this one. But the score remains Featherstone 0, Sheffield 0, and another big test for Featherstone's defence coming up here. Featherstone just need to try and get some possession down the other end of the field, but Sheffield making it very difficult early in this one. Reynolds just buying a little bit of time. Hammers the ball downfield. It's cut off by Hansen on the halfway line, who gives it on to Batty. Batty a little bit of room to wind up. That's a good shot underneath there from Nakubawai. And he's thrown to the ground there with help from Bussey. So Sheffield start 30 metres out. Dickinson. Plenty of carries early from the big man and taking defenders forward up to the 20. A little bit loose in contact there, Featherstone. As Batty comes forward, dummies. Trying to spin in the tackle, as he often does, holding himself up. Refusing to go down here in a three-man tackle. He's advanced the ball up to the 10-metre line, back in front of the post. Alavihi out to Aston. Aston out to Marsh. Marsh loses the tackle under all sorts of pressure from Gale, who came in off the wing. He never truly had control of that ball, Matty Marsh, but he was absolutely levelled in a great defensive read from Gareth Gale. That's what he brings to the side, as well as these yardage carries, but that's a good tackle from Glover to knock him off his feet, but a quick play of the ball, and now Eden on the counter. He's put away by Guaze and Farrell. On the 30-metre line now, Featherstone. Lockwood just hands it off to Minikin. Minikin just standing in the tackle, backing his way up, wrestling for every metre up to that 40-metre line. Nearly went without it, plays it eventually. Lockwood, route one now, takes on Batty, and all the way up to the halfway line now, Featherstone, as they rarely got this far downfield so far in this one. Couple of tackles remaining. Reynolds digs it to the line, steps, almost went through the tackle and loses the tackle there. It loses the ball, rather, in the tackle of Connor Bauer, and that will be a turnover. And just as Featherstone had managed to gain a tackle or two in Sheffield's territory, they haven't found the end of set there, so that will be a scrum feed on the Sheffield 40. As we approach the 10-minute mark here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone 0, Sheffield 0. Featherstone with a win this afternoon will put themselves in the driving seat to secure that all-important championship playoff place. Sheffield looking to avoid 6 straight defeats. It's their season in danger of free-falling, as Wellham takes the first carry off the scrum. He's put away there by Beckett, 5 short of halfway. Hansen, first receiver again through the centre, gives it to Dickinson. Dickinson been extremely busy early. The Sheffield players calling for a penalty, not given by the referee as Dickinson gets up to play it. Farrell through the middle. There's Lockwood over the top, puts him to ground. Just buries his head in the ground there, lets him know about it. Batty keeps hold of it, takes on Jones, who stands his ground. Lockwood in there to help out with a couple more defenders. Beckett lending some weight too. Featherstone doing well to contain Sheffield in this set. Hansen looks inside, gives outside, and Bauer, that's a great tackle. Again, Ben Reynolds just getting stuck in, picked up the big back rower and put him on the deck. Last tackle, Hansen puts it high. And it's taken by Jones Bishop in the corner, and I think he might have got the ball down there out of nowhere. And just like that, after all the pressure, it was probably Sheffield's worst set with the ball. They hadn't really done much in the 5 tackles, but the kick over the top from Hansen was perfectly weighted on the try line. Ben Jones Bishop to rise to it first, took it on the full and managed to squeeze the ball down in the right corner despite the attendance of Greg Eden. And with 11.5 minutes gone, Sheffield have first blood. It's Featherstone 0, Sheffield 4. And in the aftermath of that try, Corey Aston and Joel Farrell having a word with the referee. Clearly not liked something in the lead up to that try. It was Joel Farrell in particular who's not pleased with some of the attention he received in the tackle perhaps. But early points going to Sheffield here. Ben Jones-Bishop, prolific at every level of the game he's played. And Corey Aston now with the conversion attempt. Kicked over 100 goals this season, Corey Aston. As I mentioned, Sheffield's first half of the season, extremely strong. They've been entrenched in the top 6 for most of the season, but just in the last few weeks, their playoff status starting to wane a little bit. As Aston is tight to that right touchline, couldn't get much closer to the touchline for his first one, a difficult one. Featherstone fans behind trying to put him off. He steps up to add the extra 2, and the crowd will tell you he's pulled that way off to the right-hand side. So the score remains Featherstone 0, Sheffield 4. Ben Jones-Bishop with his 14th try of the season gets the first one of the game. Certainly no panic here from Featherstone very early in the piece, but the referee now just calling out Josh Hardcastle for a word. And also having a word with Deck Patton. I wonder if this is off the back of concerns Joel Farrell raised in the aftermath of that try. Must have been something that happened earlier in the set. Certainly had no bearing on the try scored as the kickoff comes now. It's taken on the feet there of Hansen, who just traps it and gives it on to Dickinson. Dickinson, good shot there from Nakubawai with help there from Addy. Sheffield will start their set 15 out. Batty. Good tackle there from Bussey, and he's lost the ball there, Eddie Batty. And that's high fives all around from Featherstone. Is that the error, the first error that Sheffield have made in this game? Is that the error that could break the early momentum? It's been all Sheffield in the opening quarter of an hour of this one. Featherstone have barely had a look in down the right end of the field, but they will get a full set of 6 now. Great tackle from Jack Bussey and Danny Addy in there, dislodging the ball from Eddie Batty, who likes to promote the ball, likes to keep the ball alive, but not keeping ball security at the top of his priorities there, and losing the ball, and gives Featherstone a 20-metre scrum feed as Hardcastle off the back of that scrum trying to get away from Glover, who comes again, and Gale does a good job to help Hardcastle to ground and prevent him from going into touch on just the first tackle. 10 metres away from the line. Patton hands it on centre field now to Nakubawai, who just trundles it upfield. He's taking Batty and Halafihi forward inside the 10-metre line. That's a great carry from the big front rower. He'll play it 5 out, bang in front of the post. They come left. Patton, first receiver, out to Reynolds. Reynolds digs into the line to Eden. Flat pass here for Wynne. Wynne will score in the left corner. The referee awards it immediately, and the perfect response for Featherstone after just going behind moments ago. They forced the mistake from Eddie Batty 20 metres out. They went through a couple of tackles and a great spread play, with Greg Eden delivering the final pass from right to left, hitting Connor Wynne on the chest, back in the team, and he scores Featherstone's opening try of the game. With 16 minutes gone here, it's Featherstone 4, Sheffield 4. And absolutely slick ball handling from Featherstone, defying the wet conditions. There's Deck Patton, Ben Reynolds and Greg Eden all involved, and Connor Wynne, as he often does, just finishing coolly in that left corner to get Featherstone on the board. And what a response from James Ford's side. They've had no possession, no field position in the opening stages of this one. But to come down the other end of the field, force the mistake and score pretty much within 60 seconds of the game restarting after going behind. It's about as good as it gets in terms of response from a side. And now Ben Reynolds with a conversion attempt from tight to that left touchline. Again, very tricky one. As he steps up to add the extra 2, and he's put it between the posts. The kicking streak of Ben Reynolds continues as he notches up his 50th goal for Featherstone this season. That's now 50 from 54 attempts this season and hasn't missed one since rejoining the club 2 months ago. And incidentally, that try putting Connor Wynne clear at the top of the try-scoring charts for Featherstone this year. That was his 18th try of the season. What a strike rate that is from the former Hull man. As the game gets back underway, Featherstone crucially now leading by 6 points to 4 as Lockwood takes that first carry off the restart and he's put to ground 10 metres away from his own try line. Featherstone just working their way upfield here. Gale plays it. Nakubawai now. Makes about 3 or 4 metres forward. Becoming a real mud bath in the middle of the field. This one as Addy just puts his head down, works his way upfield. Good tackle there over the top from Batty. Lockwood has options left and right. Solid contact from Guaze with help from Dickinson. Featherstone up over their 40-metre line now. This will be the last one. Decent set after points as Patton puts it high in the air. This will be taken on the full by Marsh, who just hands it straight off to Ben Jones-Bishop, who almost split the defensive line there, but a good tackle from Nakubawai put him to ground. Marsh, off the quick play of the ball, picks up 10, 11 metres or so. He advances the ball up to Sheffield's 40 on the second tackle. Halafihi hands it on to Dawson Jones. Dawson Jones just picked up and driven backwards in a good tackle there by Featherstone once again. Guaze has options, keeps hold of it himself and just keeps himself going forward and now driven back onto the halfway line. Couple of tackles still to come for Sheffield. Hansen's going to kick early here, just low trajectory one in behind Wynne, trying to put the winger under pressure. It's going to be cut off just inside that touchline and gives it on to Eden. Eden comes off the left foot, almost split the defence, but just losing his feet in the tackle of Wellham there, otherwise he was into the backfield. Minican put down 20 away from the Featherstone line. Slow play the ball. Wynne, the try scorer, now gets a penalty, and that's Featherstone's first penalty of the game. And it brings a cheer from the partisan Featherstone crowd. The referee catching Sheffield inside the 10. He'd warned them on the previous play. This time blows the whistle. And a relieving touch finder coming up for Featherstone here. 19 minutes gone. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 4. You're listening live on FRTV. And Featherstone will start their set on the halfway line now, courtesy of that touch finder from Reynolds. First receiver Reynolds picks up Addy. Addy through the middle of the field. Put to ground. The rain still coming down, but heaviness subsiding a little bit. The pitch chopping up in the middle. The big forwards. Tough work for them as the ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds flat pass there for Addy. Addy loses the ball in the tackle of Bauer. And that will be a knock-on against the Featherstone skipper. And Featherstone not able to make the possession count this time, as Sheffield will have the scrum feed 30 metres away from their own line. So Sheffield with possession here, head and feed on their own 30. Eventually wins it now as Glover takes that first carry off the scrum, and he's ridden to the ground there by Hardcastle. They come right-hand side here through Farrell, who just backs into the tackle and is put to ground by Patton. Sheffield on their own 40. Aston crabs across field, gives it to Dickinson. Dickinson immediately set up on there by his opposite number, Lockwood. Making it personal, the experienced Featherstone forward. Batty out to Hansen. Hansen flat pass there for Bauer. Bauer's into the backfield but couldn't quite get away. Good desperate tackle there from Beckett. Puts him to ground, and Bauer's taking a little bit of a knock there as Guaze comes forward again, up and over that 30-metre line inside Featherstone's half now. And he's lost the ball in the tackle there, Guaze, as the penalty comes against James Lockwood. The referee ruling that it had a helping hand there. Now, will Sheffield take an easy 2-1 offer here to lock up the game? They will. Well, they certainly attempt it as the referee points to the sticks. Corey Aston from more or less bang in front, 30 metres out. We'll have the conversion attempt to make this an even ball game with 19 minutes to go to the break here at the Millennium Stadium. Conor Bauer, incidentally, off that previous run, just receiving some running repairs. Looked very ginger getting up off the deck after that tackle. A little bit frustrating, that one, for Featherstone, who've defended largely exceptionally well. Just the one try from a kick to Ben Jones-Bishop so far, but just letting Sheffield an easy 2 points here if they want it. And James Lockwood now replaced by Gadwin Springer. So Corey Aston now. Bang in front of those posts. 30 metres out. Steps up to add the extra 2 and guides the ball between the posts. Takes the scoreline now to Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 6.
Sheffield Eagles number 6, Corey Aston.
As we expected, nothing to choose between these two sides. How will Featherstone respond here after conceding points? Their response previously was excellent. A corner win try. They'll be looking to go on the attack again with their defence here. As Patton puts it high. Shorter kick-off this time. Taken by Hansen, who just hands it on to Dickinson. Dickinson, good shot there. First contact from Beckett was good, with help from Springer down low to put Dickinson down on the 20. Slow play of the ball for the big Sheffield front rower. Guaze. Put to ground on his back for a gain of about 6 or 7 metres. Batty drops off Farrell. Farrell just backing his way through traffic. But not much ground in the offering for him as Jones puts him to ground, and Halafihi is knocked on at the play of the ball. It's in a carbon copy almost of what they did after scoring points themselves on a previous time, making a mistake inside their own half and handing the impetus back to Featherstone. We'll now have a scrum feed 35 metres away from that Sheffield line and a chance to go on the attack here. 6 points apiece. Clock has it at 16.5 minutes to go till the break here at the Millennium Stadium. Listening live on FRTV. Round 24 championship action. The winner here has a huge advantage going into the final 2 games to try and secure one of those playoff places. It's the scrum feed not fed correctly. Eventually is now with Reynolds getting first receiver off the scrum. Gives it on to Miniken now, and Miniken is put to ground on the first tackle. Featherstone starting 30 metres away from the Sheffield line. Springer, his first carry of the game, and it's a bullocking run up to the 20. Good carry from the big Frenchman. And a 6 again ruled against Sheffield, having a second go as Patton almost went without that ball, did extremely well to keep hold of it, but surrenders a tackle there. That will be the 0 tackle for Featherstone. 20 metres out, Nakubawai. Strong contact from Halafihi. Guaze lending weight as well. 10 metres away from the line now, Featherstone. First receiver is Addy, gives it out to Reynolds, digs right into the line. Reynolds going very, very close. He's brought down half a metre short. Ball coming back through the centre of the field. Addy, flat pass for Nakubawai. Nakubawai, I'd love to get one in game 100 on UK shores, but he's backed into the post and can't get the ball down. He plays it for Jones. Out it comes to Patton. Patton, flat pass there for Bussey. Bussey standing in traffic, eventually put to the ground, and he's lost the ball in the tackle there, Jack Bussey. And frustration again for Featherstone. 2 sets in a row they've been given possession at Sheffield's end of the ground and not able to get to the end of their set. And this will be a scrum feed just on the 10-metre line for Sheffield, and a real let-off for the Eagles there as the score remains Featherstone 6, Sheffield 6. Neither side in any particular rush to form this scrum. Heavy going underfoot, as Aston will eventually feed it. Sheffield with Wellham off that first carry. cut down in the lower tackle from Reynolds once again. Batty. Coming forward as Sheffield make a couple of changes. Roberts and Wood on, placing Dickinson and Halafihi. So Keith Senior going to his bench late in this first half as Guaze takes a couple of defenders forward with him. That's a good carry from the Sheffield loose forward. Roberts, former Huddersfield man and Salford man, crabbing across field and now getting himself going forward to the 40. Sheffield side of halfway. Batty, flat pass. But a good tackle there from Jones to halt his progress just shy of the halfway line. He'll play it on the last for the Eagles. Woodwaite's acting half. Hansen has done the majority of the kicking under pressure this time. Takes one bounce, cut off just inside that touchline by Eden, who could have probably let it go out of play actually, but keeps hold of it and he's driven into the turf there by Jones, Bishop and Wellham on that far side. So Featherstone start their set 15 away from their own line. Nothing to choose between the two sides in this one. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 6. Jack Arnold comes into the game for the first time to replace Nakubawai. And now a penalty coming against Sheffield, hands in the ruck. And another relieving penalty for Featherstone there. As Reynolds finds touch on that far left side. Featherstone will start their set 5 metres into Sheffield territory now with a chance to go on the attack, put Sheffield under a bit of pressure themselves. As Reynolds drops off Springer route one straight through the middle and lands on his front. That's a big carry, a statement of intent. Short side play now for Reynolds. Dummies almost through the line there. This is good. The opening 2 carries from Featherstone in this one all the way up to the 20-metre mark now. Springer playing first receiver. Goes out the back from Addy to Patton, who holds it up for Eden. Eden trying to get away from his man and he's put to ground on the inside. That was a good tackle in the end from Aston. He'll play it 10 metres out. Spun back infield it goes now to Bussey. Bussey comes off his left foot looking for some space. Trying to force his way through the line. Farrell drops off the tackle but still going now Bussey. And eventually put on the ground there 5 metres out, 10 metres to the right hand side of the posts. He'll play it slowly. Addy, under pressure, fires the pass out now for Reynolds. Reynolds dinks the ball into the in-goal area and he beats everybody over the dead ball line. And a couple of players colliding into the advertising hoardings on that far side. It's Ben Jones-Bishop and I think Greg Minican, the man on the far side, who's taken a real blow into the hoardings at the far end. As was the determination to get to that kick, but it just took a turn away. And Jones-Bishop was able to shepherd it over the dead ball line and the result is a 7-tackle set for Sheffield on the 20. Thankfully, Minican okay to retake his place in the defensive line. 10.5 minutes to go to the break here. No change to the score. Sheffield and Featherstone locked up 6 points apiece. As Dawson Jones picked up and driven into the ground there by Springer, really making his presence known there. He'll play it 35 out. Jones-Bishop trying to poke his nose through the line, taking defenders forward with him, and Arnold brings him to the ground on the halfway line. Wood to Roberts. Up quickly was Jones, but Roberts comes again and takes about 5 or 6 metres further forward. Big carry from the substitute prop forward. Aston, quick play of the ball and a flat pass there. Could have been forward to Farrell, who plays it quickly for Wood. Wood dinks the ball in behind the line here, but Eden will be quickest across to get that one. And good play from Greg Eden. Was alert to the danger. A real jack-in-the-box type player, Josh Wood. In off the bench, try and spark something, and off-the-cuff play there not quite working out for the Eagles. As Featherstone come forward again. Beckett this time, Minican, I beg your pardon, who plays it. Now Wynn, Featherstone's lone try scorer in this first half. Standing in the tackle there. Not releasing the man was Broadbent, who's now into the action for the visitors. Hardcastle. He's taken to the ground, just shy of the 40. Jones gives it on to Reynolds. Reynolds flat pass there for Minican. The space out wide if they can get it there. Minican into the backfield. He's trying to go around Hansen. Hansen comes again and pulls him to ground. He finds the offload, he wasn't tackled. Jones still alive in this one, and he's absolutely buried in the tackle of Farrell. Knocked him off his feet, and that'll be the last one, 20 metres away from the line. Addy fires the pass out to Patton. Patton, flat pass there for Bussey. Bussey takes the kick, that's come off a Sheffield foot. That was surely played at over the touchline. Now the referee's got a decision to make here. He's given the scrum feed immediately to Sheffield, and I'm not sure that's the right call. There was definitely a Sheffield boot stuck out there as Bussey tries to plead with the referee, Cam Worsley. And not getting any success, and it'll just be a turnover for the Eagles, so perhaps riding their fortunes a little bit there, the visitors. But there was certainly evidence to suggest that that ball was played at. As Jack Hansen, the Sheffield halfback behind the line, has taken a bit of a knock off the back of that cover tackle. As Featherstone try to ramp up defensively here, but that's a good relieving run from Jones Bishop up to the 20. 8.5 minutes to go to the break. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 6 as the pass comes there, and that's a forward pass from Guaze, who just shakes his head. He's furious with himself, that pass to Broadbent. Really poor execution from the Eagles. And an opportunity for Featherstone again. We really have, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, ramped up the defensive pressure on Sheffield, getting in their faces and forcing those erratic plays. They turn over the ball once again, deep inside their own half. Featherstone with a full set of 6 here off this scrum. Scrum feed is 1, given to Hardcastle. Hardcastle just takes on Glover and puts him on his backside. Hardcastle will play it 10 metres out. Short side play now for Bussey. Bussey trying to go around his man. Bussey is going to go close to that touchline. They're keeping him up and they've put him over the touchline. And in all fairness to Sheffield, the defensive resolve they showed there was pretty good. They got 5 jerseys around the ball. Bussey was originally stopped about 10 metres in from touch and they dragged him all the way over the touchline. But once again, the opportunity goes begging for Featherstone. That was just the second tackle in the set. They haven't been able to apply any sustained pressure on the Eagles' line here, despite being given a number of opportunities by the visitors. And this will be a play of the ball. James Glover now hobbling around in back play off the back of that play. So a few wounded Eagles out there at the moment. Featherstone will look to respond defensively. Good strong tackle by Beckett and Springer there on the first by Onwellum. Guaze keeps hold of it this time. Finds his front on the 20. Good shot there from Arnold. Roberts bumps off one. Gale comes in to lend some help there and he's picked up and driven back. Huge, imposing figure, Ollie Roberts. It's now Broadbent. Finds some strong contact from Bussey there. Help from Arnold. He'll play it 30 out. Short side play now. Farrell tries to bump off Hardcastle, who comes again and puts him to the ground. On the Sheffield 40, they'll play it. Last tackle. Aston doing the kicking this time. Punches it downfield, taken on the full there by Eden. What's the kick chase like? There's a little bit of room to move, Greg Eden. Weaves around one, almost gets around Wellham, but Wellham comes again to close the door on him. But not before he's advanced the ball all the way up to the 40 on just the first tackle. Another change for Featherstone. Addy off, Wellington Albert into the action. Wynn bundled backwards in that tackle of Roberts. Gale. Big carry from Gale, who's picked up and driven into the ground there by Broadbent. So Albert gets stuck in straight away, picked up and driven onto his back. 5 metres into Sheffield territory, couple of tackles still remaining for Featherstone. Arnold bumps away from Farrell, who flew out of the line, and that'll be the last one. Patton from 40 out, puts it high again. Trying to put Marsh under pressure. Marsh takes it well, but he's absolutely cleaned up there by the Featherstone chase, but he spins out of the tackle and plays it quickly. Now Jones Bishop. Good low tackle from Bussey. Plays it 20 out. Short side play, Wood onto Dawson Jones, and he's just collected a little bit high there. And he was slipping into the tackle there. Gareth Gale, of course, an extremely tall man. Just hung an arm out. It's nothing more than a bit of a slap in the face, really, but in this day and age, it's always a penalty. And a relieving one for Sheffield, who weren't going very far in that set. as Aston finds touch on this near side. On the halfway line now, the Eagles will start their set. Farrell comes off his right foot, just stands in the tackle there. He's just told to stop messing around. He was holding a Featherstone man in the tackle there. He's told to go back a couple of metres to play the ball. It's a slow play of the ball, and it's taken all of the momentum out of Sheffield's set there, which is a good thing for Featherstone as they come in to tackle Kouaze there. Wood, an acting half, out the back it goes to Aston. Aston out the back to Marsh. Marsh dummies into the backfield. Marsh beats his man, and Marsh will score underneath the posts just before half-time. That's a crucial hammer blow delivered by Sheffield, and it came against the run of play, really. As I mentioned, they were going nowhere down the other end of the field. Gale hung the arm out with a high tackle, penalised, and then a couple of settling plays. The ball then shifted from right to left, came out the back to Matty Marsh, who just slipped into the backfield and beat Greg Eden, all ends up, and scores underneath the post to put the Eagles back in front in the final few minutes of this first half. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 10. Featherstone will be disappointed with that one. The defence been hard to break down by and large in this half, but that defence not quite where it needed to be. I don't know whether there's a misread in the lead up for that one, but Matty Marsh taking the ball out the back, just skipping clear into the backfield, and then just went round Greg Eden perhaps a little too easily for the fullback's liking. And Aston now from bang in front will put Sheffield out to a 6-point lead here approaching half-time. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 12.
Successful conversion to Sheffield Eagles number 6, Aston.
Matty Marsh, the attacking prowess, brilliant balance from the number 1. Former York and Hull Kingston Rovers man, of course. Hasn't had many opportunities, and Sheffield not really shifted the ball all that much, but making it count on that play as the kickoff takes one bounce and cut off on the 10 by Wellham, who just gives it on to Broadbent. Featherstone need to end the half well here in the final few minutes before half-time. Certainly not out of this one, but execution at times letting them down, letting key opportunities go begging, and now find themselves trailing by 6 points as Jones Bishop, who's been everywhere for Sheffield, plays it quickly for Wood. Wood onto Kouaze. Kouaze backing his way up and over that 40-metre line, approaching the halfway. He's put to ground there by Arnold. He's got his arm trapped in that tackle, eventually releases. Wood dummies, goes himself up and over the halfway line, picks up the best part of 15 metres. Not a bad set from Sheffield in this set. Hansen seems to have recovered, will do the kicking once again, puts it high. To be taken by Eden. Eden skipping across field. Eden put to ground, 15 away from the Featherstone try line. Gale. Big carry puts Aston on his backside once again. How many times do we see defenders skittled by Gareth Gale? Plays it 25 out. Minikin. Good carry, Greg Minikin, just taking defenders forward with him. Plays it shy of the 40. Hardcastle, this is a big set from the backs for Featherstone, getting them upfield, up to the halfway line now. Springer drops off Albert, up and over the halfway line, into the backfield. It's an untidy offload, and an offload he didn't need to throw, straight to Titus Kouaze. And now all of a sudden Sheffield on the attack again to end this half. That's sometimes the roll of the dice there from Albert. He's got an offload game in his locker, but that one wasn't a controlled offload, as they won't come to any form of punishment there as the half-time siren sounds, and that will bring an end to a fascinating end-to-end first half. Sheffield dominated the opening 20 minutes of this one, getting a try to Ben Jones Bishop before Connor Wynne went over. Just a couple of minutes later in the left corner, after great lead-up play, Ben Reynolds converted for his 31st straight conversion in a row to give Featherstone the lead. But then in the final 20 minutes, despite Featherstone having opportunities, they've been unable to add to the scoreline, letting Sheffield off the hook at crucial stages. Corey Aston adding a penalty from bang in front, and just before half-time, the converted Matty Marsh try leaves a slender advantage for the Eagles. Plenty of work for James Ford and his men to do, but certainly not out of this one. They'll need to put a couple of things right in the second half. But the game evenly poised at half-time at the Millennium Stadium. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 12. We'll take a quick break here on FRTV and be back for all the second half commentary in just a few minutes' time. Hello and welcome back to the Millennium Stadium. We're at half-time here at this Betfred Championship Round 24 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Sheffield Eagles, and the game finally poised at half-time. Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 12. All to play for in this second half. Featherstone has certainly done some good things. There's some bits to work on as well. As both sides back out on the field, Featherstone attacking from right to left as we see it up the hill in the second half. Certainly not out of this game. But a Matty Marsh try just before half-time has the Eagles in front. And Featherstone will have first use of the ball as Gale pouches the kickoff and is taken to ground 20 metres away from his line. Springer now, careering into the defence, put to ground by Glover. And Guaze in there as well. Hardcastle, just a big carry through the middle of the field. 3 direct runs from Featherstone to start this second half. 30 metres away from their own line. Reynolds drops off Beckett. Beckett back through the middle. Squaze puts him to ground again with help from Broadbent. Up to the halfway line and over the halfway line with a big carry from Arnold. That's a good opening set of 6 there from Featherstone in this second half. Into Sheffield territory. Reynolds will kick. Puts it high. Looking to test out Jones Bishop, who takes it on his own 10. And he's put to ground on the 20 now. So Featherstone getting through their first set without any real issues. Wellham grabs a crossfield and not finding many metres forward. In fact, he's driven back in the tackle of Bussey there. Play it 15 out. Dawson Jones. Didn't have a lot of opportunities in that first half. Put to ground by Hardcastle. Guaze comes off his right foot into the teeth of the Featherstone defence, and he's backing his way up and still going forward, Guaze, but eventually get him going back the right way with a good smothering tackle from Albert, who's claimed that he's lost the ball there. The referee not flinching. Bauer. Carry up to the Sheffield 40. That'll be the last one. Featherstone have done a good job of restricting Sheffield's territory as Hansen puts it high on the last. That's taken safely by Wynne. Wynne tries to bump away from Aston, who comes again and puts him to ground. So Featherstone will start their set on their 30. Nearly going without the ball there, and now Miniken knocks on. And you just have to say that's an unforced error there, just taking his eye off the ball, and Featherstone blink first in this second half. And the field position now going to Sheffield. They will have the scrum feed 35 metres away from the Featherstone line. 2.5 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium in the second half. No change to the half-time score. It remains Featherstone 6, Sheffield 12. You get the feeling that the next score in this game will be crucial, as the rain, I believe, has subsided. Scrum feed 1. Aston gives it on to Glover, and Glover put on the deck there 30 metres away from the Featherstone line. Aston to Broadbent through the middle of the field. Left a defender behind, but the cavalry came in the form of Springer to drive him back. Second tackle for Sheffield. Aston, centre of the field, gives it out to Hansen. Hansen out the back to Wellham, gives it on to Ben Jones-Bishop, who's going for the corner. That's a great tackle from Beckett. He throws the ball back in field, but he's ruled to have been in touch. And Reynolds again getting across to dive on that loose ball, and what a defensive play that was from Ben Reynolds and Jimmy Beckett to hurtling across the field to put Jones Bishop over the touchline. And an early warning sign from the Eagles, who went through the hands early there in that set. And Featherstone doing just enough to put him into touch and diffuse the danger. So they will have the turnover 10 metres out now. Hardcastle. Big carry through the middle of the field. He's put to ground by Roberts. Gale. Trundling forward up to that 20-metre mark. Not much territory in the offering here for Featherstone early in this set. As Bussey gets them going forward on the short side, up and over that 30-metre line now. 3 tackles gone for Featherstone. Jones waits at acting half. And that's Arnold taking the pass from Hardcastle. Still going forward here, Jack Arnold, up to the 40. Springer now. Springer just a huge bullocking run up and over that halfway line. Springer taking 3 defenders with him. Patton wants it on the last, but they're going the other way to Reynolds. Reynolds puts it high to the air once again. That's taken comfortably on the try line by Marsh, whose try in the dying stages of the first half has put the Eagles in front here. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 12. There's a big shot coming in there from Albert, and Springer bending Jones Bishop backwards. Eventually plays it 20 metres out. Dawson Jones put to ground. Eventually in the tackle of Albert, putting himself about early defensively in this half. Got himself tangled up. Farrell pushes Patton out of the way. Eventually finished off by Arnold. Aston just drops off Broadbent. Broadbent coming back through the middle of the field. Still yet to see Mitch Clark for Sheffield, and yet to see Harry Bowes for Featherstone, as Sheffield get a penalty here. Arnold, the man penalised. Just getting the angle in the tackle wrong there, and the Featherstone fans not happy with that one. They think that they've been unjustly penalised there, as Albert makes his way from the field. Danny Addy back into the action. Sheffield waste no time in finding touch on that far side, and will set up shop again in Featherstone's half. This is very much similar theme to early in the first half, where Sheffield dominated all the territory. As Farrell is driven backwards into the ground there by Hardcastle. Aston drops off the ball for Guaze. Good contact there from Arnold. In there to help out was Bussey. Aston. Now it comes to Hansen. Hansen on to Bauer. Short ball there for Wellham. Wellham, plenty of bodies in front of him to put him to ground. Minican and Reynolds, chief tacklers there. 20 metres away from the line. Centre field it comes. Wood to Roberts. Roberts pinballing through defenders. And eventually put on the deck there by Addy. 15 metres out, bang in front of the posts. Wood scampers out a dummy half. Finds the pass for Aston. Aston comes off his right foot. A desperate tackle from Arnold on the inside to close the door on him. Last tackle for Sheffield. The kick was a poor one, and it's picked up by Eden, who's looking to counter-attack, and that was great defence there from Featherstone once again to just close down the danger. Wood was looking to stab the ball into the in-goal area. As Clark comes into the action for the first time to replace Roberts. Hardcastle beats the first man. And a penalty coming in now against Sheffield. Guaze again involved. And Featherstone will have a clearing kick again, as the referee's just going to stop the clock here. He's going to call out, in fact it's Joel Farrell, the man. Certainly, there's Broadbent as well. No, he's just calling the captain, that Joe Farrell is the captain actually, over. Broadbent, the man in trouble here. Looks like he's going to be sin-binned here, Blake Broadbent. He's given a yellow card for that tackle, lifting above the horizontal. And for the next 10 minutes, Sheffield will be down to 12 men. Blake Broadbent, the man, binned. What have Featherstone got here? A man advantage now and a penalty kick to touch. They start their set on the Sheffield 14, in fact up to the 30 with a big run from Springer, who's had a huge impact off the bench so far. Pass comes to Bussey. Bussey working in that right channel up to just shy of the 10-metre line. All hands to the pumps defensively for Sheffield now as Patton. Flat pass out. It comes to Beckett. Flat pass there for Arnold. Arnold! He's going for the line there, Jack Arnold. He's brought down half a metre short. Desperate defence from Clark just on the field to halt him. Pass comes out now to Reynolds. Reynolds, out it comes to Eden. Eden skips to the outside. Can't get away from Wellham. Good defence from the Sheffield centre. He'll play it 5 out. Spun back in field. The ball comes. Reynolds on to Addy. Addy drops off Arnold again. And Arnold will take the settling carry on the last tackle. What have Featherstone got here? Addy goes himself, Danny Addy, and just tries to stand in the challenge, and he's put to ground there, and a bit of a underwhelming end to the set there for Featherstone, who other than that half a chance there from Arnold, who went very, very close. Featherstone didn't really fire a shot in that particular set. Sheffield did defend it well. So they come forward now through Clark, his first carry off the bench. Jones Bishop, the opening try scorer of the game, plays it 15 out. Guaze put to ground on his 20. 3 tackles gone here. Featherstone doing a good job to limit the go forward of Sheffield. Clark comes with a second carry. Big shot there coming in from Beckett and Springer. Untidy pass from Wood is picked up by Aston. Aston just weaving through the middle of the field. And he's put to ground by Springer and Beckett on the last. Hansen kicks from his own 40. And that's out on the full there from the Sheffield half-back. And the first mistake from Sheffield in this half gives Featherstone a turnover. 40 metres away from the Sheffield line. We've had 11 minutes gone in the second half. Here it remains. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 12. You're listening live on FRTV. Featherstone looking for that game levelling score. Springer now off the restart. He'll go down 30 metres away from the Featherstone, the Sheffield line. They come left. Reynolds drops off Beckett. Beckett standing in the challenge and eventually wrestle to the ground there, 20 metres out. Jones to Addy. Addy into the line, gives it to Patton. It misses Patton, straight to Eden. Eden trying to get on the outside of Glover, who does well on the inside to harass him to the ground, 10 metres out. A 6 again coming against Sheffield. Second effort on the ground. This is a golden opportunity for Featherstone. Are they good enough to take advantage? Gale goes down on tackle 0. A metre short of the line. Another 6 again coming against Sheffield. So this one will be tackle 0. Patton has nobody to give it to. Stands. Almost slipped the net himself there. Still standing in the tackle. And he will eventually play it 10 metres out. Ball comes out the back to Addy. Addy to Beckett. Beckett from a standing start. Going to go close here, Jimmy Beckett, but he won't get to the ground. In fact, Sheffield hold him up over the try line. And he will have to retreat the 10 metres to go back to play it. Plays it now. Jones. On the back it comes to Addy. Addy flat pass for Arnold, who hit it at pace. And that's good defence on show from Clark, who did just enough to put him to ground short of the line. Still plenty of tackles in the bag for Featherstone. Ball comes out to Patton. Patton out to Reynolds, and it was an awful ball to Reynolds, who couldn't keep hold of it. And once again, Featherstone, their own worst enemies when it comes to attacking in the opposition 20. The execution at times has just not been there, and Patton just holds his hand up to his half-back partner apologises for the quality of that pass. And another huge let-off for Sheffield. Of the 27 minutes remaining. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 12 it remains. No change to the half-time score. Last time we heard York were behind against Wakefield. But the other team locked on the same competition points as these two. Who will come out the winner in this one? Sheffield play it 20 metres from their line. Dawson Jones now. Good driving tackle there from Arnold. Was slow to retreat into the line. Farrell taking them on, beats a couple of defenders. Farrell up and over the halfway line. That's a big carry. He's just knocked off his feet there by Eden. Finished off by Gareth Gale. Bauer. The gap opened up for him, finds the offload for Wellham. Wellham keeps hold of it himself. Into the backfield, Chris Wellham. Good desperate tackle there from Jones. Puts him to ground 20 out. Wood gives it to Hansen. Hansen to Guaze. Guaze gave it to Clark, who wasn't ready for it. And they've just been given offside there. Can you believe that? The error coming from Sheffield, but Featherstone offside. And this is a very, very kickable penalty from just bang in front, 10 metres out. Aston points to the sticks and how crucial that penalty could be. As this will give Sheffield a chance to go 8 points clear here, whilst they are down to 12 men, remember. Blake Broadbent still in the sin bin at the moment. Featherstone have been unable to capitalise on that man advantage so far in this one. Corey Aston. Who's kicked 2 from 3 in this one so far. With a pretty easy conversion attempt from bang in front to put the Eagles out to a 2-score advantage for the first time in this game, and he makes no mistake in doing so. The scoreline now, Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 14. So Featherstone, what have they got in response here? Still 25 minutes of the game remaining. By no means out of this one. Just need to be patient, work their way back into this game. Patton punches the ball downfield. It's taken off the knee there of Wellham and trapped at the feet of Clark, who eventually picks it up and will be tackled 10 metres away from his line by Springer. Guaze driving forward, put to ground in the tackle of Miniken and Beckett. You might have heard there. Ben Nakabawai back into the action in replace of Jack Arnold. Clark, who got away perhaps with that mistake down the other end of the field. Featherstone straying offside, plays it 30 out. Wood skips out of dummy half, taken on the inside there by Nakabawai. Last tackle for Sheffield. Low trajectory kick from Aston, picked up by Eden. Eden skips across field. And he's driven backwards in the tackle of Bauer and Wellham. Win. Big carry straight through the middle of the field. Big contact coming in from Guaze, leaves Guaze on the deck. Plays it quickly now for Gale. Gale just standing in the tackle, the best part of 15 metres forward there. Gareth Gale up to the halfway line. Jones gives it to Addy. Addy, route 1 carry. This is better. Straight through the middle of the field, Danny Addy. That's a big carry. Best part of 30 metres forward up to the Sheffield 30 rather. Patton fires the ball out to Hardcastle. Hardcastle puts it on the deck behind the line. It's going to beat everybody into touch though on that far side. But not a bad set for Featherstone. They've come the best part of 60-70 metres on that set. And now Sheffield will have to come work it away from their own line now. 22.5 minutes remaining if you're just joining us live on FRTV. Featherstone 6, Sheffield Eagles 14. Huge clash here will go a long way to determining who secures a playoff place. Nothing mathematically settled, but certainly whichever team wins takes a big step forward this afternoon as Batty comes forward and is put to ground there in the tackle of Bussey. Play it 30 out. Clark driven to the ground there. The tackle by Nakabawai. Aston's going to kick early here, doing a lot more kicking in the second half, Corey Aston, as he's found the ground. He's looking for a 40-20, but it's picked up just inside the touchline by Eden. And Eden beats one, beats two. In fact, he can't quite get away from Farrell. That was a good kick chase from the Sheffield back rower. He'll play it 10 metres out. Win. Skips across field and now trying to go forward. Sheffield getting a man in and driving him back. Lockwood's about to come back into the action here for Featherstone. He's replaced Springer. So both starting for props back on the field now for Featherstone as Jones just skips out of dummy half. There's cries from offside from the Featherstone fans. They didn't think a Sheffield man got back square. Plays it 5 short of the halfway line. Nakabawai trying to stand in traffic. Keeps hold of the ball. And he'll play it 5 metres into Sheffield territory on the last. Patton kicks high and hanging kick again. It's a testing one. It takes an awkward bounce into the in-goal area for Dawson Jones, and Dawson Jones is picked up and he's going to be going close to being driven back into the in-goal area here. He's just managed to stay in the field of play with help from 3 other Eagles players. Jones Bishop. Featherstone really ramping things up defensively here, led by Connor Jones. Dawson Jones now comes in for his second carry. 3 tackles gone, only 5 metres forward Sheffield have made. This is a better carry from Batty. Still well inside their own 20 here. He plays it quickly for Wood, who gives it to Clark. Clark, good shot there over the ball and driving him back. This is excellent defence from Featherstone as Sheffield put on their back 20 metres away from their own line on the last. This is the most impressive defensive set of the game from Featherstone as Aston punches the ball down. It takes one bounce into the arms of Gareth Gale, who just puts his head down and runs straight back at Joel Farrell. And just like that, Featherstone start their set 40 metres away from the Sheffield line. Could that be the set defensively that turns the momentum in the hosts' favour? Trailing by the 8 points, we've gone into the final 20 minutes of this one. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 14. Featherstone simply need to be the next team to score in this one, you fancy. As Lockwood takes the pass from Reynolds. And he's put to ground. Addy, flat pass there for Nakabawai. Nakabawai spinning in traffic. He's put to ground in a desperate tackle there from Clark. He goes down a couple of metres short of the line, just to the left-hand side of the post. Addy, first receiver, steps off his right foot, looking for space on the left. Gives it to Reynolds. Reynolds, dummies. Half a gap opens up for Reynolds. Can he get to the line? Bauer does just enough to bring him down. Last tackle, a metre short. Addy. Pass was over his head. We kept hold of it. Patton puts it out wide. Looking for Gale. Gale takes the pass. Can he find an offload? And Sheffield get men into the tackle. But it's a penalty for tackling Gareth Gale in the air. So Featherstone will get another set of 6 here. A try, and it is well and truly game back on. As they just find the touch finder there on that far side. They'll start the set 10 metres out now. Hardcastle just gives it on to Patton, on to Lockwood now. Lockwood picked up and driven into the ground there. In a good tackle from Broadbent, who's now back on the field. Sheffield up to the full complement. Patton. Out the back it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds to Eden. Eden trying to go around his man. Good tackle on the inside again from Wellham, who's barely put a foot wrong defensively for the Eagles so far in this one. Reynolds. On to Addy, just drops off Nakabawai. Nakabawai standing in traffic. He'll play the ball bang in front of the post 10 metres out. They come right. Reynolds digs into the line. Reynolds is put to ground there by Batty, who was told to just surrender to the tackle there or risk giving away an obstruction penalty. Ball comes out to Patton. Patton, out wide it comes. The pass was a poor one from Eden. And it's gone into touch, but has it taken a hand there, in fact? I apologise to Greg Eden, that did collect a Sheffield hand on the way through. So that did go into touch, and it will be another set of 6. Scrum feed to Featherstone Rovers here. 17.5 minutes on the clock. Featherstone trailing by 8. 14 points to 6, Sheffield lead. Whoever wins this one will go 2 points clear of their rivals in that top 6 place with 2 games remaining. Scrum feed 1, Reynolds, out it comes to Eden. Eden on the outside of his man, Eden almost went without the ball, but that will be another penalty against Sheffield. Offside from the scrum now. But Featherstone at the moment can't find a way through this Sheffield defence. Sheffield, as I mentioned, back up to the full complement of 13 players. Beckett takes the tap. Beckett trying to get over the try line at Sheffield. It's a deliberate tactic from Sheffield to take the player over the try line, force him to go back the 10 metres and just buy themselves a little bit of territory. Game back underway. Addy for Lockwood. Lockwood standing in the tackle. Jones. Flat pass there for Beckett. Beckett's going to try and spin over the line there, but he can't quite get there. And another penalty against Sheffield. Well, surely the referee's going to have to start warning here. Persistently offside, persistently off the try line to cut off space. And Sheffield sailing close to the wind here. He's just calling out the captain, Joe Farrell. I think a bit of a on-the-run warning here for Sheffield. We've now the game stopped with treatment to Connor Bauer. For Farrell protesting his innocence, the team's innocence, but can't deny that that's 3 or 4 penalties in a row they've given away, including a couple of 6-agains. As the restart comes, this is tackle 1. Ball comes out to Patton. Patton keeps hold of it himself. Farrell went to the ground there looking for a penalty, didn't get one. Patton made the right decision to go down, but Featherstone's attack a little bit clunky here as Addy fires the flat pass there for Lockwood, who came off his left foot. Taken to ground there by Clark. Looking for the offload, finds the offload for Nakabawai. Brilliantly kept alive. Nakabawai still going forward. Eventually put on the turf, another offload for Jones, but the defence just keeps turning up off the ball from Sheffield. Aston this time putting him on his back. Reynolds, first receiver. Dummies. Tries to go through himself, drop of the shoulder, couldn't get through the space, plays it 5 metres out. Addy, centre field, pass out to Patton. Patton onto Eden. Eden is wrapped up this time by Farrell, 10 metres out still, just to the right hand side of the post. The pass comes back through the middle again. Flat pass there for Lockwood. Lockwood, can he get to the line? He goes down a metre short, bang in front of the uprights. This is the last one. Big play coming up for Featherstone. Jones, out it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds dinks the ball off his foot, and it's picked up by Sheffield, who gives the ball to Ben Jones-Bishop. Ben Jones-Bishop's into the backfield here. This is danger. He's still got plenty of pace. He's away down this touchline. Can Gale get to him? They're both giving chase. Gale and win, but they won't get to Ben Jones-Bishop, who races the length of the field. And under all of that pressure, they defended 4 sets of 6 in a row on their line. And it was a hurried kick under pressure from Reynolds. He didn't get it where he needed it. It was trapped immediately by a Sheffield man. And they offloaded it to Ben Jones-Bishop. He cut back through some retreating Featherstone defence and went the length of the field. Gareth Gale and Connor Wynne gave chase, but they couldn't round him up as Ben Jones-Bishop scores his 2nd try of the game. And with 14 minutes to go till full time, Featherstone's job to get back into this one has just become a lot harder indeed. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 18. You have to give some credit there to the Sheffield defence. They just kept turning up off the ball. They were sailing close to the wind, as I mentioned, giving away a number of penalties for being inside the 10. But they kept turning up with the answers for everything Featherstone could throw at them, and that that play just coming off the fact that their goal line speed took all of the space off Reynolds, who just had to try and hurry a kick through on the last tackle. He couldn't get it through the line. It was trapped by a Sheffield man who handed it on to Ben Jones-Bishop, the one man that Featherstone didn't want to get the ball in the clear, and that was exactly why. Just racing clear of the chasers to score a crucial try, and Aston adds the extra 2 once again. Takes the scoreline now to Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 20. It's a long way back for Featherstone here, as time also starting to become an issue for Rovers. 12 minutes left on the clock. They're going to go short kick-off here. Patton. It has just about gone 10. It's been battered backwards by a Sheffield man, and Marsh collects it for Featherstone. Dickinson's back into the action now. Still not seen Harry Bowes in this game for Featherstone. Dickinson eventually plays it for Batty. Batty spinning out of the challenge there, but just put to ground on the Sheffield 40. He's been stung in that tackle, eventually gets up to play it. Hansen to Bauer. Up quickly to meet him was Reynolds. Finished off over the top by Beckett. Hansen hands it on. To Dickinson again, plays it on the halfway line, last tackle. Aston drills the ball down that far touchline side, takes one bounce and goes over that far touchline. And Featherstone now will have the set starting 25 metres away from their line. Needs to be some urgency here from Featherstone. Time starting to tick away. We've got 10.5 minutes on the clock. Play the ball for Hardcastle. Hardcastle comes forward. Jones onto Miniken. Strong shot there from Halavihi. Jones hands it off now to Win. Trying to go around Jones-Bishop, who just manhandles him to the ground. And Wellham there is penalised for taking the man off the ball there, Connor Wynn. And Chris Wellham lets him know about it as well. And difficult to see exactly what happened there. Certainly Wellham came in as the second defender on that tackle and fell to the ground. He must have ruled that Wynn grabbing at the leg of Wellham there, which you can't do. And Sheffield now with a kick to touch. So they will start their set 30 metres away from the Featherstone line. Featherstone need to hold out here in this set, a try, and it's curtains for Featherstone in this one. Halafihi plays the ball out to Batty, onto Gwaze. Gwaze still going strong, hasn't had a break yet. Titus Gwaze playing in the middle. He'll play it 20 metres out. Halafihi gives it on to Hansen. Hansen into the line to Bauer. That's a great tackle under the ball there from Reynolds, who dislodges the ball as well. And great defensive response there from Featherstone, with the game hanging by a thread. Coming up with the answers, they need to get play back underway. Hardcastle, straight up carry, almost beats Farrell. He's put to ground on his own 20. Miniken trying to get things going forward. Plays it quickly for Addy. Addy to the teeth of the Sheffield defence. Halafihi with Gwaze and Bauer in there to close him down. He'll play it 40 metres from his own line. Lockwood, dummy to go out the back, kept hold of it himself, and will play it on the halfway line. Jones fires the pass out to Patton. Patton out the back to Eden. Eden fires the pass out to Gale. Gale trying to go around his man. And he does well to stay in the field of play there, Gale. Pass comes back now on the last to Patton. Patton dinks the ball in behind the line there, takes couple of bounces, and it was a friendly bounce for Marsh, who now has a bit of room to counter, and he loses the ball in the tackle there. He's lost the ball, and the ball has come free, and that will be ruled as a knock-on. And it will be a scrum feed 30 metres out now from Featherstone. You feel like the time is now. They need to score now to have any chance in this game. Trailing by 14 if you're just joining us. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 20. 8.5 minutes on the clock. Scrum feed, centre field. Ball comes out now to Patton. Patton, out it comes to Eden. Eden trying to get over on the outside of his man. That's good defence, as it has been for most of the afternoon on Greg Eden by James Glover. Pass over the top is a poor one, trapped by Lockwood. Loose pass again out the back, eventually into the arms of Bussey. Bussey straightens things up. I'm going to start keeping the ball alive here now, Featherstone. Running out of time. Addy. Reynolds. Reynolds flat pass there for Beckett. Beckett still going. Put to ground inside the 10-metre mark now. 15 metres in from this near touchline. Ball fired back in the middle of the field. Reynolds crabs across, gives it to Addy. Addy looking to try and straighten the attack. Finds the offload for Nakabawai. Doesn't quite know what to do with it. Just straightens things up and takes it forward himself. Taking in the tackle of Bauer and Wellham. Couple of tackles still in the bag for Featherstone. Reynolds drops off Lockwood. Lockwood, strong shot over the top, but illegal from Villa Halafihi. And that's another penalty coming to Featherstone. 2 points, obviously no good to them at this stage. They need to roll it on and get a try quickly. Featherstone haven't scored in this second half. It's Nakabawai trying to get to the line there, and he's held up. Underneath him was Batty. Seen that 3 or 4 times in this second half. Sheffield comfortable taking the Featherstone man over the try line and just holding them up. Lockwood now. Lockwood will play it, couple of metres out. Patton wrapping round, fires the pass out to Reynolds. Reynolds onto Beckett. Beckett's lost the ball in the tackle, Jimmy Beckett. And things going from bad to worse for Featherstone here, as they just simply cannot unlock this Sheffield defence. And Beckett, it was a tough one to take in all fairness to him. A flat pass from Reynolds at the line under pressure. Tried to spin out and get the arm free and lost the ball in the process. With just under 6 minutes to go, the score remains Featherstone 6, Sheffield Eagles 20. And Sheffield currently on course to snap a 5-game losing streak here. And their first win at Post Office Road since 2015. Sheffield come forward now. Dawson Jones, the man will play it. 15 out. Farrell. Spun to the ground there. Been one of Sheffield's best, Joel Farrell. Plays it. Batty. Takes defenders with him up to the Sheffield 30. Halafihi slips, and an untidy pass given to Dickinson, who did well there to salvage that play, but not many metres in the offering for him going forward there. Plays it. Guaze. Guaze again, still going. Titus Guaze just finding space, pinballing out of tackles, finds another 10-15 metres. Guaze has been excellent for Sheffield. He'll play it eventually on the last. Aston punches the ball down that touchline again, and this is exactly what Sheffield need. They've got the time on their side and the scoreline, just willing to run the clock down. 4.5 minutes to go. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 20. Featherstone need some urgency here. Jones plays it. Hardcastle. Good shot under the ball there. Sheffield defending with plenty of vigour. Gale has lost the ball in the tackle. That surely had some help. It's ruled play on, and Guaze collects the ball for Sheffield. And Gale furious with himself for putting that ball down. Wellham. Stiff arm into the face of Beckett, who does a good job with Reynolds to put him to ground. Reynolds taking a little bit of a bang there. Dickinson spins, hits and spins, goes down. 15 short of the try line. Halafihi onto Hansen. Hansen out the back it comes. Aston dinks the ball in behind the line. This is going to be a try for Glover, who's knocked it on, in fact. And that would have been the try that put the icing on the cake for Sheffield. Glover had the ball in his grasp. It was more difficult not to score that one. Just spilt it in the own goal area. The kick from Aston was perfectly weighted. But he just fluffed his lines right at the end and it went over the dead ball line. And now Featherstone getting upfield off the back of a 7-tackle set. Just spared Featherstone any further pain, and they'll now get a penalty, Featherstone, to get upfield. Just under 3 minutes to go according to the stadium clock. Featherstone 6, Sheffield 20. Featherstone by no means out of the playoff race here, but they certainly need results from the next 2 games coming up against Dewsbury and, of course, finishing the regular season against other playoff hopefuls, York Knights. As Gale picks up from dummy half, takes on Guaze, beats one, tries to get away from a second, can't do so, goes down 10 out. Tackle still in the bag here for Rovers. Patton to Addy, flat pass there for Lockwood. Lockwood trying to get his arms through the tackle. He's put to ground there by Halafihi. Pass out to Patton. Patton, the ball is trapped at the feet there of the Sheffield man. Can't quite see who it is on that far side. Maybe Corey Aston, who's been everywhere for Sheffield in the second half. And it has been, in fairness to Sheffield, a very controlled defensive display from them in the second half. They've had very few opportunities at the right end of the field, but they've been able to repel the Featherstone attack time and time again. Getting the only try so far of the second 40. Featherstone not able to post any points since the opening 15 minutes with a Connor Wynn try. As the sun now streams out over the Millennium Stadium. This will be the last one for Sheffield. They'll kick from deep inside their own half. Aston again. Taken on the full by Wynn. Wynn brings it back into Hansen, and he's tackled just shy of the halfway line on the first tackle. Couple of minutes remaining in this one. And he's lost the ball in the tackle, and the error is given as Reynolds just kicks the ball away in frustration. And that just about sums up Featherstone's afternoon. They've had chances, certainly, to get themselves back into this game. But some of the fundamentals, execution and ball security at crucial times has let Featherstone down. Where Sheffield haven't played an expansive brand, but they've made very few errors. They've kicked early. And every mistake that Featherstone has made has played into Sheffield's hands, and Sheffield now poised to cement a top 6 place. Featherstone, as they kick early here, Sheffield, their kick ricochets off a Featherstone man and into the arms of Dawson Jones. A little bit of fortune perhaps on that one, but they still get the ball back. And that will be the first tackle. Dawson Jones will play it 30 out. As the siren sounds, this will be the last play of the game. Dickinson just hammers the ball over the touchline on that far side, and so it brings to the end a frustrating game for Featherstone Rovers, a game of what if, you have to imagine. Sheffield led by 6 points at half-time, thanks to tries to in the first half to Ben Jones-Bishop and Matty Marsh, with just a Connor Wynn try in response. And then in the second half, as tempers flare on this far side, in actual fact, we're just keeping an eye on this. Connor Wynn not happy with something being said as the players come And to just shake hands, as most of them are doing. There's a little bit of few cross words on this far side. Wynne being calmed down by his teammates. But it's easy to see why the frustrations have boiled over for Featherstone, who were way off their best in the second half, with the only scores coming to a penalty goal to Corey Aston and a length of the field try against the run of play from Ben Jones-Bishop, converted by Corey Aston, who had a man sin-binned in the second half in the shape of Blake Broadbent, but Featherstone be ruining those missed opportunities in the second half. As Sheffield claim a vital win in the context of who will finish in the top 6 in the Betfred Championship. Featherstone, of course, get to do it all again next week and bounce back against Dewsbury in 7 days' time, but it's finished here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone Rovers 6, Sheffield Eagles 20. Thank you for listening live on FRTV. Have a very good afternoon.